Okay, hello everyone. My name is Constantin Andrei Stoian. I'm a third year student at Faculty of Geography from University of Bucharest. And before I start my presentation, I want to speak about International Internship University. International Internship University is a leading virtual education system and a global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well-reputed in delivering innovative programs. Globally, it is a trusted name for quality training and programs and is committed to providing better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. In a short span of time, IIU has spread its wings in 195 countries and 6 continents under the strong leadership of a visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit, sir, a committed and inspiring social activist, a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. And after this brief presentation, I want to speak about my presentation, the importance of sustainable development. Let me present you. Okay, let's start. First of all, we have a quote from formal UN Secretary General Kofi Annan. He says, our biggest challenge in this new century is to take an idea that seems abstract, sustainable development, and turn it into reality for all the world's people. He was a figure, an important figure of diplomacy. Let's start with the introduction. First of all systems naturally develop. However, in this day and age, development is moving at breakneck speeds, thanks to advancement in technology. The only problem is that not everyone considers the downsides that come along with balancing economic growth, including impacts on people, well-being, and environment. Okay, before we take the sustainable development goals, I want to understand the meaning of sustainable development goals. Sustainable development is development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Sustainable development is an organizing principle that aims to meet human development goals while also enabling natural systems to provide necessary natural resources and ecosystem services to humans. Also, sustainable development practices help countries grow in a way that adapt to challenges posed by climate change, which will in turn help to protect important natural resources for ours and future generations. Here we have an animation. For a planet, biodiversity, carbon continent, oceans, lands and forest, water, clean air, clean energy and waste treatment. For our society, health, equal opportunity, education, living conditions, social integration and quality of life. For economy, employment, resource use, sustainable consumption, sustainable production and innovation. And for the governance, public finance, structural resilience, peace and cooperation, business integrity, and last but not least, transparency. We also have the capacities necessary for sustainable development, capacity to measure progress, capacity to promote equity, capacity to adapt to shocks, capacity to transform development pathways, capacity to link knowledge with action, and capacity to govern cooperatively. Let's go to Sustainable Development Goals, the most important goals in today's history. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, adopted by all United Nations member states in 2015 at the Paris Conference, provides a shared blueprint for peace and prosperity for people and the planet, now and into the future. At its heart are the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, which are an urgent call for action by all countries, developed and developing, in a global partnership. They recognize the ending poverty and other deprivations must go hand in hand with strategies that improve health and education, reduce inequality, and spur economic growth, all while talking climate change and working to preserve our oceans and forests. Here we have the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. First one is no poverty. Second, zero hunger. Third, good health and well-being. 4, quality education. 5, gender equality. 6, clean water and sanitation. 7, affordable and clean energy. 8, decent work and economic growth. 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure. 10, reduced inequalities. 11, sustainable cities and communities. 12, responsible consumption and production. 13, climate action. 14, life below water. 15, life on land. And 16, peace, justice, and strong institution. And last but not least, 17, partnership for the goals. Because without partnership between countries, the other 16 goals can't be fulfilled. Here we have the goals, but in a long way. Okay, let's go forward. Core elements of sustainable development. The core elements of sustainable development are 3 of them. First one, it's economic growth. The second one, it's environmental protection. And the third one is social inclusion. Let's talk about first core element of sustainable development, economic growth. Economic growth focuses on equal economic growth that generates wealth for all without harming the environment. we'll talk about sustainable development for companies to use clean energy without harming the environment. We know that a lot of countries harming the environment with consumption of fossil fuels. Investments and equal distribution of economic resources, and eradicating poverty in all its forms, because poverty, it's one of the biggest problems in the world right now. Let's go to the second core element. We'll talk about environmental protection. Sustainability prevents nature from being used as an inexhaustible source of resources and ensures its protection and rational use. The most important aspects are environmental conservation. It means caring about animals, plants, and the ecosystems they live in. Investments in renewable energies, like solar energy, hydro energy, or nuclear energy. Saving water, because we know that just 1% of the total water in the world is for drink use. The other 99% it's salty and it can be drink it. Supporting sustainable mobility and innovation in sustainable construction and architecture, because we know in construction and architecture there is a lot of water and a lot of materials that can destroy the ecosystems. And the third one, the last core element of sustainable development, is social inclusion. We will talk about gender equality, development of people, communities, and cultures, and it helps achieve reasonable and fairly distributed quality of life, healthcare, and education across the globe. It means everyone will have the same healthcare and the same quality of life and education everywhere. In Mali, in Egypt, in France, in Switzerland, in India, everywhere must be like that. Global issues. The most important global issues are climate change, inequitable growth of national economies, the North-South divide, and loss of biodiversity. Climate change, it's the biggest global issues because of climate change, the sea level, the ocean level grows year by year. For example, from 1970 to present, the ocean level grows with 1 meter. That it's a lot, because countries like Republic of Maldives, where the biggest altitude is 2.5 meters, for the next 50 years to 100 years can be sea underwater. Countries like Maldives, like Tuvalu, like Kiribati, these countries will disappear because of rising of sea level. Inequitable growth of national economies, the North-South divide. Continents like North America and Europe have a growth of national economies, but countries like Botswana or Uruguay, that are in the South Hemisphere, doesn't have the same opportunities like the North ones. And the loss of biodiversity, It's important because from the beginning of this century, we lost over 1,000 species of plants and animals, and that's not good, because the loss of every species have an importance for every part of this world. Okay, region-specific issues related to sustainable development. We have desertification and droughts. Desertification, it's a worldwide problem, because a lot of agriculture terrains and surfaces are desertificated in the last 20 years. For example, in the last 20 years, we lost like surface of Algeria of good terrain. Deforestation in Brazil, for example, in the Amazon area, it's a problem with deforestation, because we know that Amazon area is responsible for 20% of the oxygen around the world, and if we deforestate every part of the Amazon forest, we lost like 20% of oxygen. That is a lot. Floods and soil erosion, and the rise in sea level. Let's talk about the global initiatives. The first initiative was in 1972, the Stockholm Conference. And after the Stockholm Conference, UNEP, United Nations Environment Programme, was founded 2 months later. The Earth Summit in 1992, after the Earth Summit, or the Rio de Janeiro conference, we created the Agenda 21, the Rio Declaration, the Framework Convention on Climate Change, and the Convention on Biological Diversity. After that, 5 years later, we have Kyoto Protocol in 1997. Kyoto Protocol, from the start of Kyoto Protocol, we have the COAP programs that remind us the importance of sustainable development. UNDP, sorry, it was a mistake there. UNDP, United Nations Development Programme, UN Commission on Sustainable Development, Paris conference in 2015, and CIOP 27 in Egypt in November 2022. Here we have an image, a poster of CIOP 27, the last important conference that was held in Egypt in November 2022. Here we have some keywords for sustainable development. Let me read for you. Renewable Conference, Egypt, Hope, Parties, Future, Nature, Ecology, Warming, Resources, Planet, Change, and Green, and Alternative. Because we want to live on this planet and we want to live well, we must find some green alternatives for fossil fuels, and we must fight against the ones who don't want to help our planet. Here is an image from the Earth Summit or the Rio de Janeiro conference from the June 1992. And this is bibliography. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you like my presentation. Thank you and have a nice day.